Winston Churchill is celebrated as the bulldog spirit of Britain, yet his life was filled with contradictions. As a young soldier, he escaped from a Boer prison camp in South Africa, walking nearly 300 miles to freedom, an act that made him a national hero. Later, he nearly destroyed his career by supporting the disastrous Gallipoli campaign in World War I. What saved him was not politics, but painting. Churchill took up the brush to fight depression, creating more than 500 canvases. During World War II, his stirring speeches rallied a nation, yet in private he often doubted victory. Few know he also won the Nobel Prize in Literature for his historical writings. Though voted out of office right after the war, Churchill returned in the 1950s, proving resilience defined his career. Behind the cigar and bulldog image stood a complex man, warrior, writer, and visionary of modern Britain. Charles Dickens is remembered as a literary giant, yet his path to fame began in darkness. At the age of 12, his father was sent to debtor's prison, and young Dickens was forced to work in a shoe polish factory, labeling bottles for long hours. The humiliation scarred him deeply, but it became the foundation of his novels, filled with vivid portraits of poverty and injustice. Dickens revolutionized publishing by releasing his works in serial installments, creating a frenzy where readers queued for each new chapter, much like modern TV shows release episodes today. Beyond writing, Dickens was fascinated by hypnosis and spiritualism, often conducting private experiments. His public readings drew crowds like rock concerts, sometimes leaving him physically exhausted. Dickens' final wish was for a modest burial, but Britain insisted otherwise. He rests in Westminster Abbey's Poets' Corner, immortalized among the greatest voices of the English language. George Bernard Shaw was far more than a playwright. He was a rebel against convention, a voice of satire, and a man who left behind ideas as sharp as his wit. Few know that he is the only person in history to win both a Nobel Prize and an Academy Award. In 1925, he received the Nobel Prize in Literature, but refused the money, saying he would not sell himself. Then in 1938, his play Pygmalion was adapted into a screenplay that won him an Oscar. Shaw was also a strict vegetarian and teetotaler, convinced that his lifestyle contributed to his extraordinary long life. His political activism within the Fabian Society helped shape the foundations of Britain's welfare state. More than a dramatist, he was a provocateur who mocked institutions, challenged hypocrisy, and believed fiercely that words could reform society. Shaw never stopped writing, debating, or questioning until his death at age 94. Charles Darwin's theory of evolution changed science forever, but his journey was full of doubts. A shy theology student, he nearly became a clergyman before boarding the HMS Beagle. His 5-year voyage transformed him as he collected fossils and studied species across South America and the Galapagos Islands. Yet Darwin delayed publishing his theory for over 20 years, fearing backlash. He only rushed to print when another naturalist, Alfred Russel Wallace, wrote to him with the same idea. His book On the Origin of Species shook religion, politics, and science alike. Few know Darwin battled chronic illness, often bedridden while writing his most influential works. Despite criticism, his meticulous research forced the world to confront humanity's true place in nature. Darwin never saw himself as a revolutionary, only a patient observer. But his quiet persistence forever altered how we understand life on Earth.